Like you said, I think our idea around doing work before dating, and you alluded to this in a healthy sense, we kind of at one point started to believe we had to be complete before we met someone.
Yeah.
And as someone, I've been married now for 9 years and with my wife for 12, I thought I knew who I was when we met, and that was a good foundation. But I have discovered so much more about myself and grown so much more in the last 12 years than what I thought. And so this idea that we have to be fully formed, fully complete, fully perfect before we meet someone doesn't really add up.
I would even say any relationship will change you. Some for the better, some for the worse, right? If there isn't any change happening in the relationship, you probably aren't actually showing up to it. And more to your point, when you enter a healthy, safe, loving relationship, it's going to reflect back to you the parts of you that you haven't yet seen, worked on, grown through, grown out of, grown around. But I believe you have to be able to discern what is growth versus what is judgment or a lack of acceptance or an opportunity for growth anyway, because Roddy could come to you and say, Jay, I'm really noticing that you haven't been present with me and I miss you. You know, I want more time with you. If you don't have the awareness that that's probably coming from a place of love, from a desire to improve your relationship, if you don't have a growth mindset, you'll get defensive, you'll snap back, you won't listen, and you'll drive a wedge even further between the two of you. So I think you need to practice some of those 4 C's so that you have the awareness of what growth feels like, what it's like to meet yourself, so that when you're in a relationship that is asking you to grow more, there's already a familiarity there. I do think that's important.
It's so important, but what's so interesting about what you're saying, and I'm so glad you've gone in that direction, is you're saying relationships take growth and are almost for growth, but we don't get into them wanting that. We get into them wanting pleasure or joy or relief or companionship. And what you just said is, well, no, it's about growth. Talk to me about that difference between our expectation and why you think relationships are actually about growth.
As you grow, as you know yourself, like yourself, all the things we talked about, you don't need as much from the relationship itself. You aren't expecting the person that you're with to be a validation machine, to meet you in every way, in every moment, all the time, so perfectly. You can show up and actually allow the other person to meet you in this almost third entity. There's you, the other person, and then the relationship that you create together. And that means I get to bring my insecurities, you get to bring your insecurities, I get to bring my good stuff, you get to bring your good stuff, right? And we meet each other there. And the point of a relationship is just to relate to another person, right? To walk alongside them, to be a source of love, encouragement, enthusiasm, and to grow individually in your own right. But I agree with you that I think one of the biggest problems today with people or for people who haven't really taken the time to try and meet themselves, it is, what can I get? What can I get? I'm not getting enough. I need to get more. This isn't what I wanted, with very little consideration for the other person in this third entity that is the relationship.